Yeah, all right. It's going to be boss. So the whole idea is how do we build a cult-like following? If you're going to be an internet famous celebrity, then we want to build a cult-like following. And if we want to build a cult-like following, we should look at some cult-like brands and unpack what they're doing so we can take some of those lessons and apply them to us. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you think about people who lead good cults, can we just say good cults? Like none of us is going to take poison gas or force people to drink poison in Guyana. We're all leading people in pursuit of a better future. That's the kind of cult leader we're talking about. Where there's confusion, can we replace it with confidence or certainty? Where there's doubt, give people a vision and lead people in pursuit of a better future. That's all of our jobs. And if we're going to do that, we need to make sure that we're seen and we're heard in a way that is getting harder and harder. Does anyone notice there's more competitors in your space than there were 2 years ago? Yep, 100%. Some of them are better at the tech than you. Not all of them. You guys are pretty freaking smart, but some of them are younger. They've been playing. They're like natives on the new platforms that you're learning, and so standing out is even more important. And in the last little while, GPT-3 came out, 4's come out, and the world is flooded with AI content, and it's only going to get more so. So volume's not the answer because you can't out-volume robots. Pretty soon it's going to get to the point where your robot writes something that your other robot posts and my robot clicks like on it. It's like, oh, great. Fantastic. So how the hell do you stand out in a place like that? Like, volume can't be the answer. Quantity can't be the only answer. Does that make sense? So what I want to do is kind of unpack, I think, the two axes for building a cult-like following. We're going to focus on the one that I think is the hack that we don't talk about maybe enough. I certainly don't feel like I've talked about it enough. So in your book, the very next page, there's this signal to noise ratio, signal to noise. So I think when it comes to standing out, there are a couple of key things that we should be focused on. If we're not careful, we get lumped in with the rest of the crowd. And what I really want for you from this session is that you get seen as, let me preface it like this. We spend a lot of time in cafes and restaurants in Sydney when we're there, and in Noosa when we're there. And often I'll bring Araha, my daughter, along with me. And I've got this kind of unspoken goal for every cafe or restaurant we visit, which is I'm going to be their best and worst customer at the same time. Best because I'm going to spend the most money. I'm going to be super friendly. I'm going to tip. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to get to know all of the staff's names because I'm not gaming the system. That's just who I am. So that's best. But I'm also the worst because I'm the most demanding. All of my family is allergic to this, and this one won't eat anything round and have to be cut into triangles. That's not true, but it's everything's hard. And so I can get away with being annoying because I've built a bunch of social capital. And so when we walk into a cafe, Araha usually steps a couple of steps behind me because she doesn't like touching. And she says, Dad, you've got main character vibes. You know how in movies there's like main characters and then there's cameos, or there's like Barista 3. I never want to be Barista 3. I want main character vibes. So you can be part of the crowd, or you can have main character vibes. We were joking yesterday at lunch, Jason, with your red jacket. And I borrowed Rachel Evans' red glasses, and I was like that Rudy dude who's on the internet wearing red. Like, that's a main character. I don't know anything about him. I don't like the look, but I know who he is, right? Because he's got main character vibes. So I think we want to move from crowd to a character. That's the first most important thing. This piece really comes down to voice. How you say what you say, how you say it. I think we talk a lot about how to say stuff, how to deliver stuff, how to package stuff, one of the things that makes me super happy is when I'm on Instagram and I see you guys running your events, and I can see an idea inspired by an idea of how we run a room or a Zoom. The amount of people with this font at a 3-degree angle, I'm like, well, it's not super original, but I love that they're doing stuff with our stuff, right? So we talk a lot about voice and how you say it. But I think that the hack is less about voice and it's more about what you say. And so if you're saying the same things as everybody else in your space, you're super conventional. And the ultimate hack, I reckon, to standing out in a noisy world, in an AI-powered world, is conviction, is actually having something that you believe to your bones. And if voice is kind of how you say it, then the force that we really want to work with here is opinion, what you say. If you're ever like, oh man, I wish I could be good on camera like this person, or I wish I could write like that person, or I wish I could show up like that. We do a lot of character practice, a lot of how do I say this stuff? The hack for character is to actually have a goddamn opinion that you believe in. And if you believe something in your bones, if you've thought about it and come up with a position, an opinion about stuff, well, guess what happens? You can't help but speak differently, and you stand way the hell out. Look at Alex Hormozi's videos. I was chatting with him by text last night. His videos are incredible, and it's not because they're polished. Like the dude is sitting down in cut-off jean shorts with a pair of Crocs, for God's sake. And he's blown up. Why? Not because of jazz hands, but because of conviction. Is this landing a little bit? So here's the big idea I want you to get. If you're down in this bottom right-hand box, you're playing this pretty hard to win game. You're saying the same stuff as everybody else, the same way as everybody else, and you get ignored. It's about as simple as that. And what we want to do is we want to be up here top right. I'm not going to fill in the whole model right now, but if you've got something to say and you say it well, you get attention. And yesterday, or day one with Christo, he said attention is the economy. So if you think about this idea of unpacking, building a cult-like following, it comes down to conviction. Why do people follow those leaders? Because they believe something. They stand for something. And I would love to sprinkle some of that mojo all over your business and just rub it in real deep like. Is that cool?